Just give me. Go ahead.
Welcome to 2023, everybody. Welcome to the podcast White Noise. I have something that's going to be very interesting, and that many of you, if you are interested, can get a portrait done of yourself on a psychic level to have your psychic impression done on a piece of canvas. Just last week, Ariel Hosanny completed that, and we had a conversation last week, and I was mesmerized by what she shared. And she is my host tonight, and her website is dreampaint.ca. She's got a lot of different things on there. Most of the work that she does is in acrylic. I just found out just a few minutes ago that she's an illustrator, and that is going to help me with my book for psychic children. So that's going to be something that I'm looking forward to quite a bit. In 2023, we're in the month of Capricorn right now, and there's a lot of different things that are going on. So I wanted to hit the love cycle for Capricorn, if you guys don't mind, and just to give you an idea of what's going on and what is important to all of you. So as of January 9th, which was yesterday, Venus and Mars unite harmoniously in your sign, and with Jupiter in your astrological chart until mid-June or towards the summer solstice. This is what we call a cleanup time for Capricorns. You remove yourself from the shackles, if I can say, of what other people are doing to you. You will fall in love, or you will fall in love again with the partner that you're with, if that so makes you happy as a Capricorn. Once you do that and you initiate the how do I say this, the profound opportunities that you do love this person and you want to stay with this person, your partner will feel that connection. And so there'll be a new love connection between all of you, which I think is going to be really cool. Sadly, if a Capricorn is done in a relationship, you're just bound to be cut off. You're not going to be ghosted, but they are really going to just say enough is enough. They've done what they could to try and make this relationship work, and it doesn't. So you're actually very scary in astrology, Capricorn. So I'm just saying, you have to be very soulful, mindful of the person that you are leaving. Just don't ghost them, because it's not the thing to do, and be more strong about it. I'm really kind of happy now that we're into our first podcast of 2023. I am going to get better. Some people have been talking about it, and it's really interesting. I wanted to talk a few things about Laura, who asked, where does she send a testimonial? Because she wanted to send a testimonial. So it's at jimhuntmarketing@gmail.com. And you can email that testimonial, and we will take a look at it. And good, bad, or indifferent, it will go on my website. And we will start doing that. All my podcasts are on there. The podcasts of what I've done as a guest are on there. So let's just work together in 2023, and let's have a lot of fun. If anybody wants to be a guest on my show who is an intuitive, a psychic, a medium, into anything paranormal, I would like to hear from you, and you can email me at jimhuntmarketing@gmail.com as well. And Joe and I will just get in contact with you as soon as possible. I have 2 guests that are booked into the month of January already, but we're looking into February, March, and April. So we have 6 spots available. I'm going to go live with that, and I'm going to reach out to some other people. But if you know someone that is interesting and would like to come on my show, I would really appreciate that, because that'll be kind of fun. We will be going live with one person tonight. And I'm hoping that what we do will give this person insight. This is something that's always important to me. My life coaching seems to be really taking off with a lot of people in 2023. I've been booked quite a bit for that. There's a lot of fun and a lot of announcements coming at the end of February, early March. And that's going to take us into a completely different place and live on location wherever the heck I'm going to be, which is going to be something that's really, really cool. If there's something that you need to know in a hurry about what's going on in February when we get into the month of Aquarius, which is very soon on the 21st, please contact me so Aquariuses will know that there's been a lot of issues with Aquarians and relationships. And the biggest deal out of all of that is Aquarians have been holding out and looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right for a very long time. And the expectations of an Aquarius is super high. One of the most difficult to hold on to a relationship and to stay with an Aquarius is something that all the other 11 birth signs have to work with. So Aquarians, you need to calm down this year if you're going to meet the proper relationship. So I'm just letting you know out there that that needs to be fixed as well. What else am I trying to say? I think that's about it, Joe. And I think we need to bring on our guest tonight, and her name is Ariel Hosanny. But just before we do that, and I'm sorry, I want to put out my deepest sympathies to a very close friend of mine whose wife passed away from cancer. Very young for me, and my heart goes out to the family, to his sons, to Deidre's sisters and her family and her 2 grandchildren. It was shocking, and cancer just took her too quickly and too fast. So it's not a nice thing to end on before we bring on our guest, but Ariel Hosanny is an intuitive, and she's able to do spectacular things on a canvas, and she brings life on canvas. And when you see mine, it is just going to blow you away. And she's going to explain it in detail for you to understand exactly what she sees in this psychic. And I was thrilled by it all because it made a lot of sense to me. And I will be asking her a few questions prior to her reveal of this portrait of me. Okay. So at any time, Joseph, I'm ready to bring on Ariel. And thank you all very much for joining us today and having some fun. Hello, Ariel.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Welcome back. We had a short stint with you before, and people are going to see Ariel Hosanny person. That's just so our producer knows which camera to go to. So I don't want people to get confused and just say, what the heck is that all about? It's not political, guys. It's just we need cameras everywhere. Happy New Year to you, Ariel.
Happy New Year, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on my show. So in the last 3 weeks, you've been very busy.
Yes, I have. Yes.
You put your website together that you were probably hesitating to do, I guess, or updating it and making it a little better for you, which helps you. And that's dreampaint.ca, and we're going to announce that later on in the show, and you can bring that up. But when did you first realize this gift of yours on the intuitive side of picking up things and give us your process? What do you go through when you are actually doing a portrait of somebody on an intuitive level?
So I noticed it a couple of years back. Actually, pretty much my whole life. I've looked at people and I kind of get this instinctual thing about them. Sometimes it's like they relate to an animal somehow, or they relate to something in nature. I've like personally, I feel like I look like a rabbit or a chipmunk. So I relate to animals and visually really well. When it comes to painting someone's portrait, there's two things that I would do. So I would meditate on a picture of that person.
Yep.
So sit down in meditation, have a photo, think about that person, what I know about them, their name, their full name, and then go into meditation. And during meditation, near the end, I want to say near the end of my 25-minute mark, I will start to have really strong visuals.
Okay.
And I'll sketch that out and record it.
Okay.
Yes.
So in that process of meditation, are you talking within yourself, like within your spirit? Because I talk to my sacral chakra and I talk to my heart chakra to get information about people. And it's usually my third eye that turns on and just says, oh yeah, that's true. This is what we're seeing. So do you hear voices yourself? Do you hear any type of energy speaking to you? Because we're all energy beings. So I'm just kind of curious, what do you get? Or what is the information highway that you get? Is there anything specific, or you just take your hand and put it on canvas and get going?
A little bit of both. During meditation, it's more of like an image that kind of comes up. I've had maybe one or two auditory things during meditation where I heard someone speak to me inside of my head. And then
there it goes.
right.
Yep.
And the images come all at once. They come really fast, very vibrant, and there's no real way of saying, like, I don't speak to it in any way. It kind of actually, I've noticed a pattern. It starts off with a very small spiral pattern, and it almost feels like a wormhole. So that's like the first thing I'm like, okay, I'm about to enter this space. And I've noticed it happen more and more. So it's kind of like hey, it's going to come up now. It's coming. Yeah.
But do you find, like, since you and I have talked about it, that you ended up with a little bit more confidence in yourself when you're doing this?
Absolutely. I've actually applied to a couple of art shows since we've talked. And my description of my work, there was always that hesitant side of me of how do I describe myself? How do I describe your work? Like, there's always like confusion as to how to go about that. But I literally just went at it, and it was true and honest. And I feel like it went really well. I've never had that confidence to just say exactly what it is. So it absolutely helped talking to you, and I feel good about it.
That's kind of cool. You know, I was just thinking, just out of a whim, whatever show you're doing in Toronto or on the outskirts or whatever, I would love to come in to your little booth.
Yes, that would be really cool.
That's that guy. That's the guy that
that's him.
I would love to come and do that. I think we'll sort that out.
Yes,
No?
we will.
It's not a blooper, Joe. This is the truth. We might do that, you know? So that's so that's really, really interesting. I'm liking that. So in the meditation, and you go, like, I always find myself in, everyone thinks it's light, and I never see light until I'm actually reading the person. But when I'm in my certain form of meditation, when I'm trying to calm down after my day, I'm walking on a mirrored set of water that is very dark, like around the squares that we're in right now that we're looking at. It's pitch black, but the vibration of the water that I'm feeling is actually giving me a visual of what I'm trying to say to somebody. I don't know if that's where you're getting your artistic side at the same time.
That sounds very familiar. So in the meditation, as well as the remote view, which I'll explain, there's a darkness. It's just darkness, and it's like almost like a void or an emptiness. It's not fearful. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of it in any way. Right. But that's where it starts, in that darkness, and it comes out from there.
And it doesn't bring fear.
No.
When I find that I don't, because I'm not, again, I'm the type of intuitive that I don't play with the dark and the dark entities and the dark energies. They don't deserve my time, let alone anything else. I do work with them, but I really, I draw a line to how far they can cross with me before they get annoying, and I just say leave. So do you ever get anything that, even though we just talked about it, is there anything that would make you feel uncomfortable that you would put down on a canvas?
That's interesting. I want to say some of the meditations that I've had, and I did see things that made me feel uncomfortable,
Okay.
or just very raw emotion. I haven't thought about painting it on canvas. I feel like it's bringing it to life even more by painting it. It might mean something differently when I paint it.
Right.
So the sketches are there, and if I get through all the ones I really want to do, then maybe I'll do those. But it is a nice idea, though.
And I'm just thinking that in the form of meditation that we do, we protect ourselves right away. We don't allow anything that will try and infiltrate us or hurt us or attach themselves to us, because again, we're working through a source of energy, and we'll talk about your remote viewing here in a second, because I do quite a bit of that lately, and I'm not a fan of it because it's exhausting.
Yes, it's tiring. Yes.
It is tiring. I almost lost my train of thought here. What I'm trying to get at here is I am always in a positive frame of mind. So I'm always trying to bring positive to people that I work with. Everyone says that I'm an upbeat, positive guy. My wife might say different during the day, but you know, at certain points of my day, the energy that is there is giving me highlights of people and what their future is going to bring, what's it going to do, how it's going to do it. And I'm thinking that you might be able to do a drawing of someone's future or someone's past, because that's what I'm being told by your guides. It just hasn't been sent to you yet because you're just in a preliminary stage of what you've done. But what you've done in your preliminary stage is freaky to me.
Yes, it's just the beginning.
It is just the beginning. And I think that this is where you're going to be able to take it differently. I just wanted to add one more thing in this conversation with us. You're a July 13th child, okay? Yes. And a Cancer is a very creative but moody type personality. Now, I'm not throwing you and throwing you to the wolves and just saying, well, you know, what does the man think of you? Are you moody with him? Are you moody with us? Are you moody with your parents? It's not about the mood of what you're with us when you're in your working state, but in your creative state, your intuitive state, that moodiness also allows you to bring in a strong focus on what you see in us, doesn't it? It's almost like you're telling the truth about us and we don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Good, because when the very first time I read you, I just saw the creative side of you. I saw what was so important as to who you were, and that, like I said at the beginning of every show that I've done, there are better intuitives, better psychics, better mediums, better psychic artists out there than I would ever be. And it's always nice to meet someone that is really coming out of the closet in the right way to share your vision and your dreams. So I really do want to thank you. And we're still not going to the painting yet because I want to hear about the remote viewing.
Okay, yes, thank you, Jim. Remote viewing was used by the CIA. It was used to see places remotely through your mind's eye. I came upon it on Reddit. I always kind of knew I had this intuitive side to me, and I was like, let me try and see what happens. And now I use it to do portraits. So what I would do is have 5 to 6 screenshots of random photos, and inside one of those screenshots is a picture of the person I'm reading. And without knowing what the pictures are, my partner would give me the last 6 digits of the photo. When you screenshot it, it gives you like a random number.
Right.
So I'll take those numbers, write them down on a piece of paper, sit down, breathe, close your eyes, say the numbers out loud a couple times, and then whatever you feel, sense, taste, smell, see, sketch it down, write it down, make words, whatever it is. I try not to focus on, oh, it's a this or it's a that. Just kind of go with the flow. Yes.
And that's the thing. And this is the better part of what intuitives do. When you're speaking raw in a way, but psychics feel, smell, taste, touch, where that's where we get our information from. And that's what you're doing, but on a remote viewing, it's different because you could be thousands of miles away and get a very good visual of what you're seeing. And then we're kind of confused saying, you've never been there before. How are you doing this? So again, you've got a lot of different styles about you that will, that takes that creative side of you. And as you know, Cancers are one of the better artistic people in all of those signs. So kudos to you, young lady.
Thanks, Jim.
Welcome. So without further ado, Joseph, maybe we should just get and reveal what Ariel did of me. And how long did this take, by the way?
I want to say about 8 hours. Yeah, 8 to 10 hours.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's amazing to me because I'm looking at artists that take 8 years to do a painting or 8 weeks to do a painting or 80
Yeah.
and you were doing it in 8, and that's the visual that came to you. So I am super, super impressed because everything that we saw was just amazing.
Thank you. I have a tendency, once I start, just can't stop. So that's why it happens. Okay, I'm gonna.
Okay. And it's coming live somehow because you're going to be turning that on. Well, here I am. Oh, wow. And look at the way that it's built for me. I can see me there. So that's totally freaky. What freaked me out the most were the eyes.
The eyes, yes. Let me get nice and close there.
And the eyes were giving me the source of what I am able to do because that's what I do. Some people who are feeling like they're intuitive, they see off their peripheral. And that allows me to see off the peripheral as well, but I can see what's going on. I just don't see little shadows here and there. So to me, and this is my interpretation, but you have something completely different in some ways.
Yes, I do.
And what I'm seeing is beautiful. So your turn, please go ahead.
Thank you, Jim. So the first visual I did see that stood out was a bear, the head of a bear. And it just kept reoccurring, the bear image. And then this golden staircase that was infinite. It just kept going. It wouldn't end. And it was really, really nice. So that was from the meditations. The remote view was interesting. Everything that I viewed had like a shape or a form or like an image, like an actual picture of something that came up. When I did your remote view, it was vortexes and swirls and spirals and vortexes. And I just kept having this pulling feeling that I was being pulled in. And there was this like feeling of things being pulled in. And that was all I got. That's it. There was nothing else. And I was like, okay, he does talk about white light entering the body through the third eye or through from above all the way down.
Yep.
Exactly. And then I also incorporated your eyes. You have bright blue eyes, and I said, okay, I'm going to add that as part of the color. And in the vortexes, I added little dashes of color because you see auras.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, he's inputting all of the auras that he's seeing and spitting it back out, I guess.
Yes.
You do have more than one eye. It definitely is part of the aesthetic, but you do look around when you do readings, and it is a way of thinking. I do it too, but I do see it when you are doing readings. And I said, oh, I'm going to incorporate his eyes, looking around, trying to process everything coming in. Yeah, and you are in again a dark space where an image comes out, so it is like a starry night sky.
Which I think, and I truly am honored that you did this. I'm truly honored on all of these things, but there were some details that I was shocked by. And I'm a Libra, so what did you put in? What did you put in there, Ariel?
Right, so in the top right corner here, I didn't make it too obvious, but it is the constellation for the star sign Libra. So I just wanted to personalize it a little more so you knew it was yours.
And I'm taken back buy that only because I've had this one here who sees differently, and that's what she sees behind me. But what you're articulating here is what I am actually seeing through me, and that's how I operate. So it's two different versions of what they interpret about me from two different psychic artists, which is still, it blows my mind because it feels so real to me. And I'm the one pinching myself going, whoa, this is awesome.
That's so cool.
So I enjoy that, and it makes me feel like I'm at home. And these are the things that I have the utmost respect for you, Ariel, because you've decided to come out and do this and make it part of your personality, part of who you are. You do murals, you're an illustrator. There's so many other parts about you that are unbelievable. So it is, again, an honor to be able to work with you and to do this kind of thing. We're going to be life coaching together, and we're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff. So for me, it's absolutely amazing. So I know you do other artwork, and we see that there, and more people will see this now because I'll be sharing that on Instagram and on TikTok and my Facebook page, and I want everyone to see what you've done. But we are now ready to see some of the other stuff that you do, because I'm just like totally impressed, and I'm tired of talking about me.
Okay, I can show you one of my dream paintings.
Okay.
So
can you explain that as you're doing that too for us?
Yeah, definitely. So
don't ruin my painting.
Okay.
joking.
So there okay. No, okay, there you go.
I like the hired hand you got in there, by the way.
You're right.
Yeah. It's
that
his
little
day.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna bring this down a bit.
Yep.
Okay, so this was a wild ride, this dream. It's definitely long. I don't think we have time to talk about the entire thing, but in this segment, this segment was I was in the middle of nowhere in a house, like a bungalow type house with big windows, middle of the night. There was big clouds rolling over the sky, and I walked outside. There were some other kids with me. I think I was a kid. I wasn't an adult. And we looked up at the sky and were like fascinated by what was happening. And the clouds started to separate, and there was a white lightning that flashed. And with that white lightning, there was a huge, like serpent-like dragon that just appeared. And with it were a row of blue lights and a row of red lights. And I woke up out of the dream and was like, whoa, that's a very vivid image. I have to draw it. So my process with dreaming is, I remember my dreams since I was 6 or 7 years old. I remember all of them. I have so many of them, and they're all like very vivid. And so I've decided as of last year to start recording it, so writing it down, sketching a couple images that stood out. And as of 2021, I started painting them. And it feels very personal to put it out there, but I just thought the visuals are so amazing. And you can never paint and draw your dreams exactly how you see it. So when I get it exactly how I see it, it's just like, whoa, okay, that's really cool.
But that's beautiful. And that's a nice piece of work. Now, are you going to be selling prints on that kind of thing that people can get? Are you doing that now?
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, I had a art show in November, really great response when the first time I ever showed these pieces that I've done. And a lot of people were interested in that. So again, it's very personal. So I didn't want to sell originals right away. But I will be making prints, probably getting it on apparel. That was a big deal too. Tote bags, that kind of stuff.
That would be good on a t-shirt for me.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, I think that's the next step for these dream paintings.
Beautiful. Let's have another one, please.
Yeah.
I really want to show this off because I'm just totally impressed with everything here, the young lady.
Sure. Okay, this is a meditation vision. So the initial, the initial meditation images. Let's hold it like this.
Wow.
It's very fluorescent in my light, but yeah, this was from meditating. It was probably one of the first visuals I ever had during meditation, and
Okay.
it stood out quite a bit. So in the meditation, again, it's not a full picture always. It's flashes of things. So it was a fin of a fish that kind of looked like a whale or a shark. Then it was a man's head, pyramid on his head, and under the pyramid head was like a crustacean face. And I was like, whoa, that's creepy. And then I saw it was a male figure, like a male body.
Okay.
And again, entering the meditation is always that spiral, but this time it was a rectangular or square shaped spiral. And the pink light came at the end. So again, I sketched it all out on a piece of paper and I recorded what I saw. I said, okay, how do I put this together? What made sense? And yeah, and this is what it is. I called this one the entrance. It felt like he was in a cave entering something else. Yeah.
Very nice. That's awesome. Perfect. And let's have one more here and take a look at what else you got. That's awesome.
Yeah. So this is actually, I'll show you an original piece.
Okay.
The
And as you're going to do that, I'm just going to reach out to the audience. Has anyone got questions out there? Joseph, do we got questions from anybody today?
We have 3 questions, Jim.
Okay. I would like Ariel to explain this one, because this is the one that I kind of like, I was waiting for.
Okay.
I'm really excited about this one.
So this one is, I'm going to just come off to the side here.
Yep.
I'm just going to get some assistance. Yay. Thank you. Okay. So this one is a big guy.
Wow.
And there's the bottom, and the bottom has this tiny little thing. And he's in the water. And he sees this thing float down next to him, looking at him. So I called this one, I See What You Mean.
Okay.
I used to draw a lot on the subway, like take a sketchbook and do some like automatic drawing. Never had really anything in mind as to what I was going to draw. And this was one of the drawings. So I said, oh, that'd be a really nice painting. So I did the painting of it. And then, the story kind of came with me as I did it. So it's just a bear. It's kind of about, the globe and changing weather and how we don't really care about the planet as much as we could. So the bear is, minding its own business, going for a swim, going to eat something. And this being shows up and he's looking at them and they're having a telepathic conversation about what's going on. Like what's happening here? Like, there's something wrong? And the bear is apparently, animals have a tough time communicating with humans.
Yep.
So if an animal can communicate with something higher that we don't understand, maybe it can tell that being how to change or fix things. So I think that was the story behind that one.
And you see, it's an environmental thing. So when that's explained, and we're all having issues environmentally, obviously, wouldn't that be a nice conversation piece for someone in the government to take a look at and just say, hey, look at this,
Yeah, it's definitely like a political piece, I guess.
It is, for sure. And and sketching on the subway. When I'm on the subway, I have to play music. I have to have a headset in.
Yeah, same.
I can't handle the amount of noise and white noise that I get from all of those people, because they're not happy and disgruntled going into work, and they're worse when they're coming home.
Right.
It's like that every time I get on the subway here in Toronto.
Yeah.
So, my focus is I just play my music and I'm in my own world, and I'm able to read people without the noise abstract of the guy next to me just wanting to go home and have a beer, and I'm trying to read this guy next to me saying, you will get that raise. I mean, you just want to go to the guy and just say, you're going to get that raise tomorrow. That's what's going to happen.
Don't worry. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, but then we would be considered strange, and the TTC police would just pull us off the subway and just say, take a taxi, get on an Uber, get out of here.
Yeah. Okay, weirdo, get off the subway. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
So,
yeah, on the subway, same thing. Headphones on, sketchbook in hand, and just.
which is really good. So, how can we get a hold of you now through all of this, and what do we need to do to talk to you? And can you put mine back up there? I'm just a little jealous.
Okay, yeah, let's grab it. It's coming.
Run, man, run.
Thank you.
It's always nice to have a partner helping, isn't it?
Yeah. Thanks. What was the question? Sorry.
Well, two of the things are, number one, if somebody wanted to get your psychic impression of who they are and have it done, I know that you do the work and you do it well. I know there is no timeline. You said 8 hours with me, but it could take 8 days or whatever. You don't rush into anything. This is what you and I had talked about previous. I was just kind of lucky because I think we mind melted in a certain way that it really did work for both of us. And I really asked you to be very calm, and I did not want to give you absolutely zero input. I wanted it to come from your head, your intuitive thoughts and your feelings, and look what came out of it. So I just want to tell our people that's the same thing. Joe, I forgot, questions from the crew.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's three. So will you paint other people's dreams or help to decipher them?
That's a nice question. I would be interested in painting someone else's dreams. Yeah. It would just be you describing it, and I would paint what I see. That happens quite a bit too. People will tell me a story or talk to me about something or describe their dream, and I automatically have an image for it. So that would be, totally down to do that.
Wow.
Awesome. There was a question earlier. Do you have any alien paintings? I guess these beings that you showed off, which is an incredible photo, by the way, incredible painting.
I actually have quite a few.
Let's see one. Take mine off of there.
Let me see what else I have.
Show it off. Can you?
Oh yes, give me 1 second.
Yes.
Cupboard. There's a big portfolio in the top cupboard, the locker, and inside, there's a big portfolio sticking out.
Ariel, do you ever feel an alien presence in certain things that you do?
Yes. I've seen things in my life that I can't explain. I've recorded them vigorously, and I do feel like there is something outside of this world. Not sure if it's a different dimension, a different space, a different planet, like who knows? But yeah, I do feel like there's something around that I don't quite understand. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got.
So, this is a fun one. It's a little green alien. I like cats, and I think a lot of people like cats too. And he's a little frustrated because the cats are playing with him too much. So, this is him.
Oh,
and this
wow.
is watercolors. So he's got a little cat on his head having a nap. This one's clawing at his clothing. And this one's really excited about this fabric here. And yeah, he's in not a good mood.
Awesome. That's good.
Oh,
Well, let's hope that our guest gets that question answered, and I'm sure that you can do others if they ask.
Oh yeah, so many. There's tons of alien drawings.
Perfect. Thanks, Joe. What's the next question?
So one more question. So do you sometimes see someone or something that you have to run home and paint because you're feeling that intuition?
So I don't see anything in the real world visually. It's either I've had sightings in things in the sky that I don't understand, And that gives me the urge to go home and record it, to draw it out, to explain where I was, what time it was, what I was doing. So in this reality, that's the only time I would go home and be like excited about writing down what happened. Or it'll be an instance, like a coincidence would happen, or something, there's always these things that the world puts in front of you. When you need something the most, it's right there. And you're like, whoa, that's weird. So I'd go home again and be excited to share the story or write it down.
I just got this weird, that's awesome answer. I just got this weird question to ask of you from my higher self. What about someone who is pregnant and they want a picture of their unborn child yet to come?
Wow, that's a different direction. And I think that's a cool idea. Obviously, I don't think it would be human what I would paint. Like, it won't necessarily be a realistic portrait of baby.
Yeah.
It would probably be something like what I've done for you.
Yes.
In that sense, though, instead of remote viewing or meditating on the baby's life, I would probably want to have that pregnant person in front of me. Let me touch the belly, maybe, but just in my area, so I can really, get in touch with the unborn baby. Yeah,
that's kind of cool. I
was
asked that, and that was really cool. If someone had lost a pet and they want to know where this pet is,
Ooh,
I'm really throwing them at you.
You are.
There will be more people that will ask these questions than I will. And if you don't have an answer, you don't have to. And you're not obligated to. But if you had lost someone, and I'm going with animals, I'm not going with humans right now, but I'm going with animals because we love our animals. And if someone wanted you to give a remote view of where this animal is today, I'm wondering, you probably can get that through that soul of that animal.
I would say that's a really interesting thing. I think it's possible.
No, I think it is.
I haven't reached that point yet. I haven't tried it, and I think it's possible, and I think it would be really beautiful. I mean, I do paint pet portraits for people who have pets that passed on or are still around, so that's something I do as well. But to go beyond that is really, I think that's really beautiful. Yeah.
I have an interesting collective group of people that would be asking these questions. So I'm just like right in there.
That's awesome.
In some of the questions for them that you might get asked. But I know tonight you're not going to be sleeping well because your mind is going to be going 100 miles an hour with all of this. So it's going to be something that will be interesting because I'm not even calm. I'm looking at that portrait, and every time I see it, I'm vibrating with energy. It's really cool for this guy.
Thanks, Jim. Oh, I'm so happy.
It just generates positive energy for me. So it's very cool. I just want to know if, as a child, when you're looking at this and you didn't put a brush to canvas and it stayed in your mind, do you still have visuals of when you were a preteen, a teen, a young adult, into something that you haven't put on canvas yet, but you can actually still remember those things?
Oh, yes. Yes. So many. Mostly dreams. When I was a little kid, I think I had an imaginary friend, and I have a vague idea of what he looked like. His name was Patrick. And I also had, just the dreams are still there. Like, I still remember a lot of those dreams clearly.
You see, how many of us in our lifetime had an imaginary friend? And if you honed in on every different individual on earth, how many different friends you would come up with and give us your interpretation of what they are.
Yeah, that would be so cool too. I like that. That's really neat.
I think you're just going to be taking off, and you will just be a complete independent on everything you do because you won't have time to do anything else.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
I understand. And that's where again, not taking away from your time, but that's what we're going to be life coaching towards, is bringing that courage, that confidence towards you, which you're already getting. I can see the aura colors change for me, but a lot of this is positive energy that will make things work properly for you. I see zero failure with you, none. This is just going to take off and multiply. And now your partner is going to end up being the manager of some sort to take care of all of this and to take in the information, you know? So yeah, things will happen. So without further ado, because I got 15 minutes and I got to read someone, and Paul's going to be coming on shortly, but give us all your information, and I am going to continue sharing that for the balance of the week as to where you are, how to get a hold of you. I know your email is dreampainttoronto@gmail.com.
Yep.
Your web is dreampaint.ca.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything else that you want to share with us? What's your Instagram? Do you have a TikTok? All of those things.
Okay, yeah. So dreampaint.ca would probably be the easiest to remember. If you do want to reach out there, you can go to the contact, fill it out, send it over. Dreampaint Art on Instagram, and at Smerial on Instagram. So they're intertwined. You can get each other from each. I started off separating my artwork, where the weird stuff would be on Smerial and the commission and, corporate things would be on Dreampaint. I'm starting to blend the two, realizing that this audience needs to know both. So yeah, those are the best ways.
I'm 100% with you. You can't just separate things anymore. I don't separate anyone. I don't care if you're the Premier of Canada or the President of the United States, or if you're collecting garbage. We're all the same. And we get our own interpretation and our own ideas. Ariel, this was an honor. And I know that we're going to be getting together and for me to steal that painting from you, and and hopefully we'll meet up this weekend somehow.
Yes, that would be great. Yes.
I really want to thank you for being on the show and explaining everything. This was very exciting for me. And I'm sure we'll see each other again. And I'm sure that you'll be a guest quite often on here just to share some of your stuff, which I think would be amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jim. This has been great. I can't wait for you to have this, and enjoy.
Ariel, I thank you again. Don't forget, guys, call Ariel, and she's going to help you with all of this. And I think there's more here than meets the eye. And I'm calling out on Lara out in California. There's a lot of things that you see that maybe you can talk to this young lady and maybe get something done too. Anyway, I want to thank you so much for this. And until we meet again, and thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you for having me, Jim. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Take care now. Wow. And we got that painting. Isn't that freaky? And it's gone.
It's gone. There was a painting to the left. Some people were asking to see it. And I didn't want to knock you off, but maybe we'll make a post after the show and we'll show what that painting was.
Okay. We'll get Ariel to send it to me and we'll post it on my Instagram, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
I just went through her Instagram. It's incredible.
And she's so meticulous in her work, and I don't know what artist isn't. And it's nice to see that she's coming out of her shell and building her confidence in herself. And she deserves that, because so many people are just always put on hold. And that's what I tell people as a life coach: just do your thing, man. Stop giving a shit about what other people's opinions and what they think, because they're more afraid of what we're doing and succeeding in than anybody else. Anyway, that's a rant of mine today. So I just want to leave that. But I think we need to bring on this one live reading only tonight, guys. Sorry, but it's been a long day and a sad day, but I really want to get into Paul's head here and just see what we can come up with. So without further ado, if you can bring in our friend Paul, that would be great. And as we look and the audio comes on, hey, Paul. Oh, he's learning. It's okay. He needs to get his partner in here to fix it all. There's Paul. There we go.
How's it going?
Very good, Paul. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Okay. So you're a Virgo. Your intellect is very important to you. You know, you're the early stages of a Virgo, so everything has to be perfect for you. You're a perfectionist to the umpteenth degree. You must piss off a lot of employees for some strange reason, but then if they're good, they get along with you at the same time because you're giving them kudos where they never got kudos at home, kind of thing. So yeah. That's good about you. You give constructive criticism without being so critical.
Yeah.
Maybe the partner doesn't think that way, but that's okay. It just doesn't matter sometimes.
It depends on the attitude of the day, right?
Right. I had you on for a few minutes so that we can introduce each other, so it wouldn't be like a very cold reading, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I do come off as weird when I'm doing my readings. I do come off and give you some information that might not make sense to you today, but it might make sense 3 days, 3 months, 3 years down the road. It's the weirdest thing with us, and we're not always perfect, and I never profess to be, but I'm going to be able to give you some very positive information that's coming towards you and about you, and things are going to really turn out in a better way for you in 2023 than they have since 2020. So there's been a lull, and we all know what COVID did to us. We all know how COVID controlled our lives, and we took our lives back, and we're willing to sacrifice our health in some ways, that type of thing. But you're very conscious of everybody. You take care of everybody. You're not as a strong, opinionated person as a Virgo, but your opinions are strong if they're not willing to listen. And that's when you don't give us chances anymore. You'll do it to a certain point and to a level, and you'll just say, you know what, maybe that you need to find something else to do, or maybe you need to do something else. But where you're at right now is a state of opportunity here. I picked up automatically in our primary meeting that in 5 months, what you're doing now is going to change in a better way for you that will take you to the next level. And I think that you're going to be looked upon from a corporate point of view. If you're in business, are you in business for yourself, or you help operating?
I help operate a business. I've been trying to do like an entrepreneurial thing on and off as well, but for the last couple of years. But
okay, so what you've learned and what you've been managing there in 5 months, you're going to get this light that's going to go off in your third eye of confidence, and you're not going to worry about what we feel and think anymore. And you're going to take those chances that you never have before. And you're going to find that within the next I'm saying by May, and I'm really going to throw it out there with you, by May 10th, things are going to explode in a positive way. And because of your birth year, which I'm not giving out, but in your birth year, the amount of 9s that are there is saying that there's strong probabilities of you doing what you needed to do, and people will listen to your opportunities. There is no failure with you on any level whatsoever, Paul. What you can't do is take the opinions of family and let them control your decisions.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the private part.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But they're looking out for your best interest because they care about you. But you're looking, going, look, I took a chance. I want to take another chance. And you know your responsibility. I know how responsible you are. And we've just met for 5 minutes before, but you're a very responsible human being where people want to be just like you. They emulate you because you have such conviction as a Virgo. You can be laid back and you can laugh at us or with us. It's up to you on that day, but you have so much opportunity. And when I asked for your partner to come in, I looked for these little rings of connection between one another. You two are permanent. There's no obscure 7-year itch. There's no problem. The two of you are permanent with one another. And that's hard for people to realize, because some people thought that the two of you would never make it.
Yeah. That's pretty spot on. Yeah.
And because of that, it's not that you went out to prove them wrong. You two just grew together really, really well. So the interpretation of what you were looking for before you came to Earth, you chose her and she chose you. And that's why this is happening. So it's not, I don't go with the soulmate type thing. It's just that the two of you have been in multiple past lives before. And this one is the one that's really working. And by the time you get into your mid-40s, you will never look back at anything, including that lovely bride next to you to be. You know, she knows exactly what she wants and she's determined to get it. And you are going to accentuate her opportunities and make it work for her. And at the same time, there will be no failure with you. You get down on yourself only because you're a Virgo, because you like this perfectionism side of you. And it's analytical and everything needs to be seen. There needs to be an interpretation of who you are. You know what's right and you do it right, but you don't tell the whole world how good you're doing. You're very modest in that way. And that's amazing, because you don't see that. Everyone walks around with an ego nowadays. You don't do that. And that's why you're liked and honored by many, many people. Your past life are a couple of your past lives are very interesting. You were a female in your last life. So the empathy that you have for people is there. So you get it when someone is upset that you need to try and figure it out, but you don't problem solve. You just say, hey, maybe you should talk to someone. And it's not that you're avoiding conflict. It's just not your job. But at least you know that there's something wrong, get some help, and they'll get the help. That's not your job. Your job is to point it out that they need the help, and that's where it's going to go. So it's really good. But when it comes to children, it's going to be unbelievable. You're going to be the father figure of the year. And you're going to be loved and honored, and everything will be very good for you. You will be taken care of. And you know how you like the touch, right? I'm not being an asshole about it, but to have that touch, it just melts away half of your anxiety during the day. When someone who loves you gives you that little touch, you feel a little bit better and a little bit braver to take on the next day. That's what Virgos are all about. They need that relationship to understand them more.
Yeah.
So you're pretty lucky there for her to put up with you.
Very true. It's very true.
So the female side of you, you were in health, you were in the Civil War, you were a nurse, and what I would consider PTSD now is what you had back in the Civil War. And you never recovered, and you were never happy, and you never married. And now in here, you get what our world is all about. You understand that there are certain thresholds that you call a spade, and if you can't do it, you'll tell us that you can't do it, and you won't feel bad about it. So that's a part of who you are. There is no real failure with you, but sometimes you think that way. And that was that major past life that controls that little bit of insecurity in you. And the other two, you were a traveler, like the suitcase selling Bibles in the Bible Belt, dude.
Yeah.
So you didn't believe in anything other than getting your $10 every week for selling those Bibles. So that was a good sales point on you, but it just showed that you were able to do anything, and that's why you feel this way today. And you come from the mountains of Montana. You worked in the cold all your time trying to go from door to door to sell those Bibles, by the way. And that's a true past life of yours. So it's very interesting. And you owned you're one of the first people to be different, and you bought yourself a Packard. The cars that nobody drives anymore, and it didn't make it in the car industry, but you were the big deal because you wanted to be different than everybody else, and that's who you are today. So all of those lives are bringing you into May to give you the feeling that you will be a success, that you will turn your entrepreneurship into something good, and that it will work for you and the family. And it will be, you'll never look back in 2024. Everything will start to take off for you, my man.
Wow. It's good news.
Any questions for me? Anything that you would like to know?
Can't really think of anything, to be honest with you. Like,
Okay.
just aside from May 10th turning out well, right? So
I'm looking forward to hearing about it because I like putting dates on things when I do get them. And you're connected with Joe in a way, so maybe we can get that sorted out, and that will be really good for you. And life will just be really, really, you'll be happy. I don't see what I like here at the end of the day is there is no failure.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
either that or you would have been teaching, my man, and you didn't want to be a teacher.
No. That's true. That's true. No.
So, well, I hope this was good. I hope the reading was nice. I hope
Yeah, it was. Thank
made
you.
some sense for you. And I just wanted you to know that you're on your path. You're en route to being successful in your own right, and people will follow you.
No, good news. Good news to hear. Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it.
Paul, I appreciate you coming on. I really do. And all the best to your partner. What is her name?
Her name's Anna.
Anna. Good job making him be your partner.
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, yeah, he's amazing. So I got really lucky.
Yeah,
Got lucky.
we all do. Thank you for being you, Paul, and I do appreciate it. And I do appreciate even your apprehension, but I'm really glad that you came on.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, you take care, and I hope we meet again.
To you as well. Cheers.
All right, cheers, brother. Thank you. Joseph,
Yes, sir.
you gonna show that smug face of yours? And say hi
No,
to
not
everyone?
tonight. Not tonight.
Oh my God, people want to know who you are.
They know. It's the man behind the camera.
You
You make a living like this.
didn't give me any cue cards. That was-
No.
Joe, thanks again for doing this today. And I want to thank everybody that was listening, and pay attention to asking your friends to join me on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook at Jim Hunt. What is it? Jim Hunt Intuitive. I'm going to get that straight because I don't even know myself sometimes, but everything is Jim Hunt Official. Just join and have fun and follow me. There's a lot happening in 2023, and I want to put some things to rest for others, and I am looking forward to seeing everyone. Thank you for celebrating the very first show of White Noise in 2023, and we'll have a lot more special guests coming on in the new year. I want to thank everybody. You all take care now, and we'll see you soon.